I'm still trying to process, what happened out there. I think McKenna said it well when she said it was a roller coaster. What I think's different this year than previous years, and I felt a little bit of it last year too, is if we can just get it to 5. If we can just get it to 5, I feel like our skill work will take us over the top. I feel like our teamwork and our togetherness will just take us over the top. We losing that third set tight, it was disappointing because we're up 24-21. And to go 3 times in a row without a side out, it just, that's not where we wanted to be. And they had a choice right then and there to say, you know what, it's not our night, it's over. We're down 2-1. Let's just, Amber's just trying to trug along here, and that's the last thing she needed was a 5-set match tonight. I have no idea how she played, much less played 5 sets. So she's the unsung hero just for just being tough. I told her she wasn't going to play, and she said yes, she was. So, and I don't mind that kind of banter between a coach and athlete. She's earned it. And, when we have those difficult conversations and she looks me square in the eye and says, no, I'm doing this, I've got this, I think I'd be a lousy coach if I didn't say, okay, you got first shot. And she's the unsung hero. You go through the roster and it just, that first set was just a comedy of errors for us. 10 hitting errors, I think 3, maybe 4 serving errors, a couple of aces. They only had to score 12 points to win. And they're a good team, even an average team, you give them that many points and they're going to win. But man, are they tough. They are so hard to defend because they have the ability to create so many different shots. You can't cover everything, and they wait to see what you're going to do, and then they just go opposite of it. Their off-speed stuff was, that's the first time that we've really seen an off-speed team that's that good at playing off-speed. And I give a lot of credit to Brian because Brian made a really gutsy call in the 4th set. And the gutsy call was just to do a little something different with our defense, but hide it. And I thought that we did a really nice job from that point on because it kind of shut down the majority of their short stuff. So I thought that was a good move on his part. But offensively, we were humming along. We hit 281 against a really good team. I thought Jenny had the first ball, our side out percentage. She had that running for us. And doing that with a setter that's hobbled. And, we had to make a few changes in the lineup, but I thought Heidi did a great job of coming off the bench. And, so I told you guys a long time ago, we're going to appreciate having the depth in different positions that we do. Kari struggled a little bit the first set, but she was blocking some balls. So we decided to leave her in there and see if she couldn't get her offense going. Heidi went in and got us kills right away. And so I commend Heidi, but I commend Emily for being a great teammate during the whole thing, even though it was Emily that got subbed out. I really commend her for being a great teammate. And that battle is far from being over, believe me. Stella's in that mix too. We've got a nice group of outside hitters that we can put in. We thought that Heidi's size was going to play a difference, being big out there, because they were going so right side. They're dominating on the right side. So Heidi comes in, has a big block early, kind of establishes herself. So they started going cross court, which allows us to shift the defense a little bit. But she really shut down the line. They weren't going to hit line against her, and that at least narrowed how much court they could hit into. So I guess that's my opening statement. I'll let you ask anything.
All right, Holmes, before we all get started, can you talk about the fans? It felt like in a game like that, having that home court advantage really can play a difference.
Right. I often tell you guys, I really don't know. I don't hear the fans. I absolutely 100% heard them, fed off of them. Every emotional swing came from them tonight. Our athletes reacted to it exactly how you'd want them to. And is this a match we might lose on the road? Yeah, possibly. But but it's certainly a match that the home crowd helped us win at home. I know that for sure. So I commend UCF Nation for coming out, and I hope for a lot of them it was their first time at a volleyball match, and I hope they're hooked, because if you can't get excited about what you just saw out there, you're crazy. That's fun stuff.
All right, go for it.
How important is it to have a match like this early on?
Yeah, we need to have it. We really we wanted to open up this weekend. We didn't want gimmies. You know, we wanted to play 2 top 50 caliber teams, and I think we got Syracuse when they settle into their new offense and new coach. They're going to be a top 50 team, and I think this team's going to be a top 25, top 30 team when all is said and done, because they just have too many weapons. They handle the ball. We could not crack them. And I told you guys, we're a tough serving team. We really rely on that. We could not crack them. We bent them a little bit, but we couldn't crack them. And they were able to run their middle way too much against us, way more than what most teams can. So I give them credit for being steady in their serve receive. Now, we did pick up 5 aces on them, or 6 aces on them, but I thought there was balls that we served unbelievable, and they just stick their target out, and it's right up to the center. They're running their middle against us. So I give them a lot of credit. Their ball control, their defense was sick. I mean, it could very well be one of the best defensive teams that we play all year long. McKenna really had a hard time scoring cross court because of that libero who picked up. I think she had 22 digs on the night in 5 sets. That's pretty darn good. But you know, that being said, Chloe had 21 of her own. It's been a long time since we've had a libero average 4.5 on a weekend of digs. So I thought there were micro battles within the battle, and I thought the defense between the 2 liberos were one of those. I thought the outsides going at each other, but I thought all 4 middles were lethal on both teams. All 4 middles were lethal, and it was going to come down to which team was in system the most to use their middles. And fortunately, I think it just came down to a couple points here, a couple points there. I mean, we ended up having 1 more hitting error than them, 4 extra blocks. You just never know in a game this close what it was. I have to go back and watch it later, but I thought when they took the 2-1 lead, they were playing the big points better than what we were. I thought they were not rattled at all in the moments, but I thought, in the 4th and 5th set, I thought we played the big points big blocks, big swings, taking risk, serving hard. I thought when it came down to it, I thought we went out there and we took it. We had to take it, and they weren't willing to give it up. So I commend Kansas State, because it was a great fight, and just the first of many, hopefully.
You mentioned your depth. Is this the deepest team you've had? And then you got players like Dressy, who gave you some big serves there to help you come in that comeback win as well. You got contributions from a lot of players. Is this the deepest team you've had?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we're 4 deep at the outside hitter. We're 2 deep plus Heidi and Stella at the right side. And we talked about it. We had talked about after that first set, do we take Kari out for a little bit and just let her get a breath? And then she came out and killed 7 of the next 8 shots. And so, we're not going to do that now. But Kari rebounded in a big way. Not many athletes do that after not playing well. And, it affects her when she doesn't play well. I thought she came out strong. She's mentally stronger than I knew she was, and she's mentally stronger than she knows that she is. The one comment that she said, it was really nice to hear so much positivity when I was struggling from the team and from the coaches. Apparently that's not something that she's used to, and she said that's what helped me get over the hump. So I thought that was a good job by her, pitching in a few blocks, 3 blocks, one of them solo, which was massive. And but yes, by far it's the deepest team in the backcourt. Setting wise, with Schomer's ready to go in the wings, if Amber couldn't go, we'd have been fine. Abby would have came in and done a nice job. But I don't know how Amber played. If you just saw what I saw last night, and there was no way. But she decided she was going to play.
You were talking about that interview you had with Amber, and I saw one time she told you not to challenge a call. And how did that affect this game? We were talking about breaking momentum, but how was that for you? What was your
So I can't always see things from the bench that they can see.
Right.
So if they want me to challenge something, I'll kind of give them the,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, yeah, challenge it. Or they'll say, just give me and I won't. And people, why didn't you challenge that? Because my players said don't.
Okay.
They had a micro touch on it, and even though nobody saw it but the referees, maybe we're going to lose it in a challenge. I'm going to lose a challenge. So the 2 challenges that we won, I wasn't going to challenge,
Okay.
but they said challenge it. The ball was in, and there was something else. I don't know what it was. Oh, it was a touch. And I wasn't going to challenge either one of them because I thought it was a 50-50 if we get it right and I lose a challenge. But they said, nope, do it. And so I went with them. They decide more often than not if a challenge or not, or in situations where it's just too close, or they know they touched it, or they know they didn't get the pancake. They just give me a head, and that's it. So when the other team calls a challenge, we come off the floor and we meet, and I ask them real quick, did you or did you not? And they'll just they'll give me a quick signal if they did or not. So then we know what's going to happen after the challenge replay, whether we're serving or we're on defense. So I really depend on them. It's a mature group, and they don't make that decision with emotion.
Mm-hmm.
They make that decision with what really happened, because they know how important those challenges are.
3 more.
I want to ask you about, for that 5-set match, you honored one of the greats, Emily Watts, between the second and third set. And the thing that struck me was your team stayed on the court. They watched the whole ceremony.
Yeah.
What do you want your players to take from that ceremony to watch Emily Watts get honored? And obviously, Emily and what she's meant to this program.
Well, first of all, what Emily's meant to this program is, we had that group in the late 70s, and then a group in the 90s, and then Emily's group in the 2000s. And in the 3 years that she played here, she's in the record books for only 3 years. And everybody that I talked to said she's the one that deserves, from that era, she deserves to go. And so I talked about it with some other people and some consultants that I use, because I wasn't here, obviously, during that time. And Meg Fitzgerald was a big proponent of it. Tanya Jarvis was a big proponent of it. Ironically, 2 of the people that are going into the Hall of Fame this year. But they were very supportive of Emily, and they thought she deserved to be in there. So it was really our honor to have her in there. And it's really important for our athletes, especially our young athletes, because we're such a young school. And our athletic department is so young. And our Division I is so young. It's important that our team sees they come from something. There was something here long before they got here. It's not them that's inventing all of this. Somebody put a lot of hard work, sweat, tears into being successful. And Watts was part of a group that went out and won 4 championships. That's hard to do. We know that. But I wanted to make sure she was recognized, and I thought it was really cool. That wasn't planned. But it was really cool that the team honored her during a timeout, even with a tight match the way it was. So she got what she deserved, and she's a very valuable member of our alumni, and we look to people like her for support and guidance when we need it.
Changing gears a little bit here, how did you feel about your team's operation out of system tonight?
I thought we were okay. I thought early on, we took some rips that were a little bit bigger than our shoes. And that's what I told the team, is I said, we didn't lose that first set because we were lackadaisical. We lost that first set because we were trying to win too much, instead of just staying within ourselves. And I thought we learned from that right away. And we went from 10 errors to 3 errors. And then we had 9 again. We went back up, but then we had 3 errors and 2 errors. So again, it's sometimes just pressing, trying to do too much, hoping that something's going to work out. You can't be Aaron Judge. You can't go and go for a home run or a strikeout. There's singles and doubles out there that we'll take those all day long and score runs. So I thought we did a nice job of being the team who we're supposed to be as the match moved on. That's a good question. Thank you.
Bryson, last one.
You talked about how tough of an opponent Kansas State is. Do you think that's indicative of the challenges that you'll face with the Big 12 move coming up? And then what did you learn tonight that you really want to take with you as you have 3 new opponents coming to town next
Sure.
weekend?
I think just for us and for this team right now, it shows that we can go toe to toe with a really good team. And it shows that our goals are set appropriately. You know, these are the matches that we want to win. And this is I thought this was probably a second round NCAA match. And so we won what I think is a second round NCAA match. I think Kansas State goes to the tournament this year, and I think they're going to make some noise. It'd be interesting to see how they end up doing in the Big 12. If they're in the top four, if you're in the top four in that conference, you're good. You're really good. And it'd be interesting to see if they're knocking on the door of being in the top four. But on the flip side, it kind of helps us get an idea of where we are when it's time to go in. You know, we know that we can go in, we can compete. You know, we don't have visions of grandeur like we're going to go in and, you know, sweep the whole conference or something. We know we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to earn our way and we're going to have to get better, just like we did, you know, in the Conference USA and then in the American. So, but playing a team like that, having that kind of a battle, coming out on top, knowing it can go either way, it just gives you the confidence knowing, okay, you're keeping the right company. You're playing where you should be playing, and we still have room that we can grow. I know they feel like there's room that they can grow too.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.